Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. I hope everyone's having a great day. My name's Kobe. Welcome back to the podcast. Joining me today is my lovely, lovely co host, as always.
Hey guys, it's Maria. Oh, wait, Kobe, before we get started with this,
Uh huh.
I need to just tell you, get it off my chest, that I do not want to go to work tomorrow. Like, it's just something is just inside me telling me that I do not need to go to work tomorrow.
Well, that doesn't sound very good. I mean, obviously, I get not wanting to go to work, but why do you not want to go to work?
Well, I mean, I don't want to be in the situation that you were in and almost die.
Oh my gosh, you're telling me this weekend has been crazy. All right.
Yeah, I bet. Won't you just tell me about it?
Yeah, all right. All jokes aside, gotta tell y'all what happened this past weekend. Welcome back to the All Jokes Aside podcast. Like I said, my name's Kobe. Joining me is Maria. Um, so to, today we are going to be talking about um shooting incidents, gun violence. So trigger warning in advance if anyone has any PTSD or triggers with this. We are going to be talking a little heavy subject matter today. Coming pretty strong out of the gate, only episode 2 of the podcast, but um here lately I live in a pretty big city, and here lately there's just been, and I know it's been happening for the last couple years, but it's just like shooting after shooting, whether it's like a school shooting or a mall shooting or just like out in public. It's crazy. It's
Yeah,
crazy,
it's
Maria.
it's insane. Yeah, it's insane.
And I know, let's see, there was one today, there was one yesterday, one happened to me personally on Saturday. There was another that happened to a really close friend of mine um, in her apartment complex. And then, our local town also had a little incident at, what was it, the middle school or the high school?
It was the high school, but it wasn't our high school. It was actually our
Right,
rivals.
neighboring
Yeah,
town. Well, I mean, same
yeah,
thing, still same county. So,
yeah. Right.
but yeah, so today I really I'm gonna go over my experience of what happened with me. Um, Maria has a couple of questions that she wanted to ask me, like personally about my experience, about what happened. Kind of just doing this. Well, one, I kind of just needed it to get off my chest. It was like me and Maria we like to joke around and we like to make fun, and everything. Life is too short to not be laughing. But
Have a good
this
time.
this is heavy subject matter. But I will say we might make some jokes about it here and there. But I mean, that's just me personally. That's how I cope. I've been kind of like traumatized by it recently. Um, I ended up texting my dad last night, being like, "Hey, like, I'm starting to get really like freaked out." And it's just it gets to a point like you hear about shootings and you're like, "Oh my gosh, like that's awful," but like experiencing
You never
one or
think,
like
yeah, you never
right,
think that it'll
you
ever
never
happen to
think it's
you.
gonna happen to you. You never expect it, and it's just like I keep hearing about it like happening to people that I know, and just like the neighboring like my city and stuff. It's crazy. Um, First I want to preface by saying me and Maria both come from a small town, so like we me personally, I didn't really like grow up around like guns or anything. Like I know some like bigger cities, you might like how am I how am I wording this? Some big cities, I guess that's more of like the normal because there's more people, there's more, like bigger police force, bigger violent, like bigger crime rate, stuff like that. Um,
I mean, I
but
was, but it was like a different type of, guns. Like, of course, I
right,
had
like
a very,
hunting and
yes,
paintball and BB guns, those are different, right?
right, yeah. So I was in like a very country setting more than you were. So, my dad always did like, hunting and stuff like that, deer hunting and stuff. So it was like a different type of, we were kind of educated differently on guns.
Right. Well, from a very young age, I've had like a gun fear. I don't want to shoot them. I don't want one near me. just because accidents happen, and you can't have a gun accident without a gun. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
and I mean, like, obviously, I know it's not guns that kill people, it's people that kill people. And I mean, accidents happen, but I don't know. I just don't like them. I never liked them. My dad he's been wanting to teach me how to shoot since I was young, and I've always told him, like, no, I don't want to be around it. I don't like hearing the bangs. They're too loud, and like especially now that I've got like a little bit of like trauma with it from what happened the other day. I mean, like, it's not like I was held up at gunpoint, but you know what I mean. Just still being in that situation, it's like you can't downplay someone else's experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you hear about it and you can't really, I mean, once you like know that it's near, it's like, oh crap, like this is real, like this is
Right.
happening.
It's real, and everything happens so fast, and you don't know what to do. It's crazy. But let me back it up. I'm gonna go through. Feel free if you have any questions, Maria. Feel free to interrupt me. We're gonna try and keep it. We're gonna try and stay on topic today, and not. I mean, I guess last episode was more of like 25. We each both had like 25 different topics that we were talking about constantly. So I
Yeah,
mean, getting
guys,
off topic is
our episodes are not going to be that long, all of them, we promise. Like,
right. We
just
don't
yeah.
have a certain time that we want our episodes to be, except we don't really want them to be like over an hour constantly. Around about 45 minutes to an hour is where we're aiming for. But I mean, we don't have like specifics. It's just whenever we stop talking.
Right, yeah.
But
So we're going
anyways,
to keep it at a minimum of probably 30 minutes, I say, would be our shorter episodes, and then our longer episodes will be like an hour-ish.
yeah. All right. I'm going to recount my experience of what happened. Like I said, if you have any questions for me, go ahead and interrupt me. Or
Okay.
if I like get to a stopping point, if you have questions you want to ask, go ahead. So first of all, I am I'm going to set the stage here. So this was this past Saturday, the what was Saturday? It was Saturday the 1st, February 1st. Um, I had just gotten to work. I was supposed to work a double, so I was like, I got there at 1 o'clock. I was supposed to get off at 8. Um, and for reference, I am a cashier, so I deal with like to go orders and like taking people's orders, stuff like that. I work at the Cheesecake Factory. This is important for the story of like the retelling of it. So I work at a Cheesecake Factory that's in a mall, right? So it's not like it's connected to the mall. It's not like its own building. It is a what do you call it?
You can enter it
They
from the outside, but you can also enter it from the inside of the mall.
right. Um, yeah, you can be inside the mall and enter it. It's a rented space basically. Um, So anyways, I'm working like by the front. We have a like to go like a to go slash curbside pickup window. We have all our registers up front. We have the bakery case where all the cheesecakes are, and then I'm in between the front door and this to go curbside door, right? And then there's a patio entrance, there's a mall entrance, and then we have the back like going into the kitchen, and then we have like the back entrance for like all the kitchen and like all the employees. Um so I'm up front. It's about like 2-ish o'clock. We're in like, I mean, it's kind of busy. It's Saturday, but not like super duper busy. But I mean, I'm helping customers out, and I'm getting them cheesecake orders, and we have some of my coworkers are in the bakery, and then I have other cashier coworkers as well. Well, at the time when this happened, all of us are up front. So there's me and two other cashiers, and then there's three bakers up front. Um, we're serving people, we're like getting them their to go orders. Like I was putting cheesecake in a bag and I was about to call it out, and all of a sudden I see a crowd of people coming from the mall entrance, like running, like stampeding. There's probably like 30, 40 people running. Everyone is screaming, shooter, active shooter, get down, everyone, shooter. Like it's everyone's screaming different things. People are screaming out, shooter, get down, active shooter. Um,
Okay, I'm gonna interrupt you right there. I have a
yeah,
question.
okay.
So when you heard that, did like okay, this is gonna be a really weird question, but I need to know. Did you look at a specific person or were you looking at the people running?
It's a mixture of both. Like I said, when you're in one of those situations, it like everything happens so fast. So I like that. It's weird because I can kind of remember every detail because it's like time slows down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Plus you were like
I'm
really
looking
paying
at all the
attention.
people, but I don't want to call my coworker by her real name just for like privacy sake. So I'll call her. Let's see. I'll call her Kiki for
Okay.
convenience sake. So I did look at my coworker Kiki because um she has just recently had a baby, and I don't know, that's the first thing that I thought about was like, oh my god. Everything you hear shooter, you hear that like dread kind of like fills your body for a second. It like it completely overtakes you. Um
Yeah.
so I see all these people running. And I'm like, "Holy shit, what do I do?" I immediately reach for my phone, and then I fall to the ground, like, purposefully. Like, I fall back on my butt, and I scoot up against the wall. And where I was positioned, it's behind the counter that I was already at, but, like, up against where we have, like, these, like, cabinets that we open up and, like, put food, like, to-go orders for
Mhm.
people to come pick up. So I immediately dropped to the ground and scoot back up against this counter. Um so that if in case someone does come in, no one can see me. I pull out my phone, I check the time, it's 2:20, 2:20 on the dot. I immediately text my sister and I'm like, "Hey, there's an active
That was
shooter
my
right
next
now."
that was my next question was who did you text first?
Right. Well, I wanted to call, like I really wanted to call, but just in case like someone did come in and that was the last, time someone could hear my voice. But I texted my sister because my sister's my best friend and I live with her. And she's like the person that I go to for everything. She's my role model. So I text her and I'm like, "Hey, there's an active shooter at the mall right now." And that's all I texted her because I couldn't think. I'm trying to like assess the situation at the same time, trying to figure out, am I safe right now? Am I not safe? Is someone about to come in here with a gun? Like, what am I supposed to do? So I look up and Kiki is there with me. All of my other coworkers that were up there, they're gone. They're nowhere to be found. Actually, so the to-go door that I was talking about, it's separated.
Question.
Yes, go ahead.
So all of the people that were sitting there like eating, did they get up? What did they do?
Oh, every single person ran out the front door. They either ran out the front door or they ran out the all my managers and coworkers and stuff were telling them to go back to the kitchen because it's safer back there. So everyone that was up front with us that were waiting in our line, they either ran behind the counter or they ran through the front door because the front door was right there. But I mean, like, it took a minute for it to clear out because it's only two double doors. So everyone stopped what they were doing. People ran either to the back where the kitchen was, out the front door, or up to where we were. And then the to-go door that is next to me, it's in a separate room that's like there's a separate room and it's just like it's a tiny little room. It's kind of like a closet, and separating it is a counter. And there's no way like that's just it. It's basically like a hole in the wall, right? So
Mhm.
all of my coworkers besides me and Kiki that were up there, they all immediately ran for it. They ran and they hopped over the counter, and that was it. They were out. Me and Kiki and some of these other like guests, customers that were around us, we sat down and hunkered down for a minute, and then we checked to see if the coast was clear. And then I look up to the kitchen, and my one of my managers is like kind of peeking out, like kind of checking, surveying the area, like assessing the situation. He sees us and tries to like wave us back there to the kitchen. But from where we were, if we were to run to the kitchen, if there was an active shooter that was coming in from the mall entrance right there, we would be their first targets. So I was like, absolutely
Right. Yeah.
not. Absolutely not. I'm either staying put or I'm going outside. I'm not running to the back just in case because I'm not that's a horrible decision. Like going out into the open where you're going to be like you're going to be fresh meat right there like right for the picking. Like I was not doing that. There was no way. So I told him
And I'm
no.
sure it was really quiet.
Yeah, it was pitch quiet in there. Like you could hear a pin drop. Like we were all being super quiet. I texted my sister. I was waiting for her to respond. Um, but yeah, um, he waves us back there. I shake my head no, and I point to the to go entrance, the to go curbside door, and Kiki then starts telling all of our customers that are sitting right there. She's like, "All of you, hop over that counter right now. Hop over the counter right now." So then we help them because they're some of them were kind of older. We help them and make sure they get over the counter, and then I look at Kiki and I'm like, "Get over that counter," because she just had her baby, and it's like if a shooter did come in and we're helping these people over and we're the last two and we can't get over, I was like, you have to go first. You're a mother. Like you have to go. Like in my brain, I'm like, you have to go first. Like you have a kid at home.
Mm,
So
so sweet.
we get
So
her
sweet.
over. We get her over, and then I get over, and then we go outside, and it's chaos outside. It's like I'm trying to like compare it to something. Have you ever seen War of the Worlds, Maria?
I have not.
Okay. Basically, it's like an alien invasion movie, and the aliens come down, and but it's like only in certain places. Like they start in like the big cities, and then they like slowly go out. It's basically like everyone is like running around scavenging for supplies, like grabbing everything they need. It's crazy. And then like the main family in that movie, they have like the last working car and they get in the car and there's like a crowd of people surrounding them all being like get out of the car, get out of the car, like trying to take it. It was kind of like that. There's people running everywhere. Traffic is already backed up like super far because the police had already got there and like had sectioned off like not letting people out. Um but yeah, it's chaos. There's people running everywhere. My entire like Cheesecake Factory staff was like all over the parking lot and then we eventually like all corralled into one space. um, but like it was scary. There was a mom that I had helped earlier that morning, and she had like a bunch of kids with her, and she lost her kids in the chaos and was like calling, screaming out for them, calling out their names, and like she was. I
Oh.
felt so bad for her. She was distressed. But I mean, I
Mm,
think that's what was on my mind a lot. Like most of the time is because like you don't really have a lot of time to think. And all I was thinking
mhm.
was, oh my gosh, like being a mother in this situation, because, a lot of my coworkers are moms, and it's like
Well, I mean, too, you were thinking about the situation you were in. You weren't thinking about, anybody else. You were just thinking about the people you were there with because that's all the time you probably really had to think about.
right, right, there's no time. Like, there's no time to think. I mean, there could be, but you don't know. You don't know
Yeah,
if
and I
if
mean,
there's a guy hiding around the corner with a gun. You have no idea.
yeah, and I mean, you might as well think about the people that you're with instead of someone that's not even there. I mean,
Right, but
like,
it was a really sad sight to see. But after I got outside, I called Matthew and I was like, "Hey, I just want to let you know there's an active shooter. Like, I'm okay. I'm safe. I'm outside. But I mean, we don't really know anything about what's going on. So I was like, I'll update you when I find out stuff. But I was like, I'm safe as of right now, but that could change. But I just wanted to make sure like everything was good. Well, after that, I got back with the rest of my coworkers, and everybody was okay. We did a head count. Everybody was there. Um, Police had got there. State troopers had got there. They closed off all the exits to the malls, like not the like physical like entrances and exits to the mall, but like the car exits to like get off to the interstate and stuff like that. They
mhm,
had all of they had the roads blocked off, is what I'm trying to say. Um,
mhm,
they had all the roads blocked off to where you couldn't leave. It was like that for the next 2 hours before they let anyone leave. They had to search the entire mall first. Um, but eventually, we stood outside for maybe like 15, 20 minutes, and then one of our managers came out and screamed and was like, "Everybody get inside! Like Cheesecake Factory, get inside right now!" We had like a mini meeting where we were like, "If anyone wants to go home, you are more than welcome to go home. If you don't feel safe, we're not going to make you stay. Like, this is a code red type situation. Like, go home to your families. Go home if you don't feel well. Like, staying because of everything that happened. Like, we're not going to hold it against you." Which I mean, duh, of course.
Right,
Um,
exactly, as they should, I mean.
right. And I mean, like, I wasn't gonna stay. Like, there was no way. Like, even if they did catch the guy and everything was fine, I still wouldn't have stayed because it's like at that point, like I'm already traumatized. I don't want to fucking be here.
Yeah.
Excuse me, language. Um, but it's like I don't want to be here after somebody just came with a gun. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
so after that, I ended up calling my mom, and she didn't answer right away. So then I tried calling my dad. He didn't answer right away. And then my mom called me, and she was like, "Hey, are you okay?" Because I think my sister had already like called my mom, and I was like, "Yeah, hey, I'm fine. Like, I just wanted to talk to you really fast, just in case. Like, I'm okay. I love you. You know, just keeping her in the loop, basically." And then Um, you ended up calling me right after that and checking on me and
Yeah.
asking if I was okay. And then that's when I was already back inside. And just for the viewers, Maria ended up calling me. One of her family members had a text sent to
So
them, or they saw it on the news. Right? What
so
happened?
this is
I'll let you
this
tell
is
it.
what happened. So we were supposed to be going um to Texas Roadhouse to eat with a family member for their birthday.
Mhm.
And we ended up going to Longhorn. Um and we were sitting there waiting to be seated, and the person beside us, we was just sitting there waiting to be seated, and the person beside us, we didn't even know him, and it was some mom, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, there's been a shooting at Opera Mills," and it was my mom that heard her say it, and then mom looked over at me. She was like, "Did you just hear her?" And I said, "No. What did she say?" And she said, there's a shooter at Opera Mills." So immediately I typed your name in and called you because I knew you were there because you told me the night before that you had to work the next day.
Right.
So I called you. And then you said that it had just happened.
Yeah. When you had called me, everything had just happened probably like 20 to 30 minutes before that.
Yeah, that's
Like
crazy
somewhere in
that
that
word
range.
travels that fast.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad it did though. I'm glad it did because the cops got there super fast. SWAT team, after we got inside, SWAT team got there not long after. I never ended up seeing the SWAT team because they were on the other side of the mall from us. But they ended up getting there. Um, and then yeah, they had both road they had both roads to get into the mall shut down, so no one could leave. Traffic was super backed up. And I really wanted to go home, but like you can't, like there you couldn't. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna stay here with my coworkers where it's safe and like where there's people around me, because I had parked like 3 stores down, because on Saturdays parking is so awful and you're not gonna find a spot over by the Cheesecake Factory. You're just not, unless you get there
Hmm.
before opening. um
Right.
so yeah, I was already parked super far, and I was like, well, now I can't go to my car because my car's so far, and there's no point anyway because the traffic's so backed up. So it was like great. Um, so then after that, we kind of winded down for a little bit, and like we were being told so many different stories. Like um, we were told that there was a fight that got broke out, and someone just pulled out a gun. But like, if someone did that, why would they shut down the entire mall just because someone has a gun? Like, it's not illegal to carry. Um, Two of my coworkers said that they were outside serving, and they heard like a pop, pop, pop. And they both knew immediately. Everyone ran inside. Um, so that they knew immediately that it was a gun, that they've heard it before. Um, One of them, he left. He was gone. Like he's got kids. He said, I'm not staying." He left. The other girl couldn't leave, and she was started crying, and it was that day was awful. Like it was the fear and everything. Even if like there wasn't a shooter there, the fear and the panic was still very real.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it's like it's not a situation that anyone wants to be in. And I truly wish that like no one. I know sadly like the way the state the world is in right now, it's not going to happen. But I really wish that no one ever has to like experience that. And especially like you hear about school shootings all the time. Like that's so traumatic. Like I didn't even see anyone with a gun. Like imagine seeing someone with a gun and them like shooting
Hmm.
people that you know. Like it's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane that
So,
it's just a thing that happens, and it's become like we've kind of become desensitized to it a little bit. Like I feel as a country, just because of it for the past like 10 years or so, it's been like such a big thing that happens in the US. Like it's such a big thing that happens that like outside of the US, it's kind of a joke that we're known as like the we're known as like the shooter country, or we're known as like the school shooter country. Like I
yep.
know like Europe makes fun of us all the time, um, like when we clap back about their like bad teeth for like in it, bruv, and like their accents and stuff, they're always like, "Well, at least our universities aren't getting shot up every day." Like that's like it's crazy.
Yeah, that's what we're like known for. It's crazy.
I know it's awful,
I
and
think I
it's
think malls and schools definitely need more security. Like
oh,
they need to be,
absolutely.
yeah.
Schools 100%. Like schools that boggles me that like it boggles my mind that school shootings still are so prevalent. Like how is their security not. Okay. I honestly think metal detectors. I think metal detectors are they should be required. I
Well,
really
the county that I work in, their high school has um those detectors when you walk in the door.
good. They need to. It's
Yeah.
horrible. And I mean, like where we went to school, we didn't have metal detectors or nothing. And I mean,
No.
especially our school.
No.
I used to,
E-
me personally,
Easily.
yes, I used to skip school all the time, and they have so many doors not locked. When I was in school, they had so many doors just unlocked. You could just leave because I used to leave without checking out. And you could just walk out the door and none of the teachers stop you because no one sees you. You just leave. And it's like, well, if I can leave and no one spot me, who can get in without being spotted? You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's
Yep.
absolutely it's insane.
Mhm.
But anyways, did
But
you
anyway, so
yeah.
there wasn't actually a shooting right at Opry Mills. Turns out it was a woman got mad at her boyfriend and she like beat the shit out of him at Chili's or something.
Um so okay, even though I was there, I wasn't over by Chili's is on the opposite side of the mall from Cheesecake, but word traveled fast because the story that we were told initially is people were running in and saying that there was a shooter over at Bass Pro, and Bass Pro is like 2 or 3 stores over from Cheesecake. Like we're like right next door to it, right? So we're like freaking out. We're like, oh my gosh, like like that's why we were so scared in the moment too, because we're thinking, oh my gosh, there's a shooter like headed this way. They're coming in from the mall entrance of Cheesecake, and they're gonna come in and that's what's running through our brains. But
Mhm.
in all actuality, whatever happened at the Chili's on the other side of the mall. I've heard so many different stories. I don't even know what the truth is. All I know is that there was definitely a gun involved because multiple people heard gunshots. There are some of my coworkers heard gunshots from when they were outside because it was on the it's on the other side of the mall, but that's a gunshot. That's loud. Like you could hear that from the other side of the mall from being outside because it was also outside the I want to say it was outside the Chili's, but I'm not actually sure. Like, but I do know that whoever the shooter was, the SWAT team ended up apprehending him and like pinning him up against the wall and disarming him because the one of the mall security guards was outside our mall entrance like after we shut the grate down, and he was relaying everything to our kitchen manager about like the situation and what was going on. And one of the other security guards was radioing to him everything that was happening, and they ended up finding the shooter and they detained him. For them, I don't know if it was a man or a woman, but that's what I was told. Whether that's a lie, I'm not 100% sure. That's just, I don't know why the mall security guard would lie about that, but you never
Hmm.
know. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's what happened. I'm not saying it's 100% true. That's just what I've been told. Um, I saw this TikTok. One of my coworkers sent it to me. There was a lady and her husband visiting Nashville for like her birthday trip, and they were at Opry Mills when everything happened, and the lady specifically said that she heard the gunshots too, and they all like ran inside a nearby store and like locked themselves in the back. Um, and then a friend of mine was also at the mall when everything happened. He told me he was like leaving the mall, like he was going walking to his car about to leave the mall when everything happened, and he ended up just running to his car. He said that he didn't hear any gunshots or anything, but like he heard people screaming shooter, and he saw all the commotion from Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
But it's just it is absolutely crazy. But I think that wraps up everything that happened with the Opry Mills shooting or the
Very
Opry Mills
crazy.
incident. Did you have any more questions on that specific incident?
No, you actually covered everything that I was going to ask.
Yeah,
Um,
I tried to go in depth with it because I didn't want to leave out any details.
yeah.
I will say, so while everything was still going on, Metro PD like tweeted out that it was just a fight and everything, like before they had even like detained the guy. And it's like they didn't even know the full story. Like they were still the SWAT team was still sweeping the mall while while they tweeted that. So I think it's very weird that
Mhm.
I just thought it was weird. I thought it was really weird how you're gonna tweet something when you don't know the full story. Like I have
And
nothing
it's
against.
funny. I
Go
haven't
ahead.
even seen a story. I haven't even seen a story covering the shooting. I've just seen the story of some woman beating her boyfriend at Chili's.
Right.
So it's fishy.
Yes, it's very fishy. And it's especially because like that's my livelihood. Like that's my workplace. I'm there every single week, at least 4 or 5 days. It's crazy to me that that's just like a thing that happens.
Right.
And sh- I don't know what the issue is on them. Like I don't know if they're trying to cover it up, or I don't know why there's no coverage of it. It's kind of insane to me because that's public knowledge. Or it should be public knowledge. That's like say that's a safety thing. It's a safety hazard or whatever.
Hmm.
Safety concern. But anyways, I actually have a couple other stories. Um, but do you? So did you hear about what happened at our rival school the other day? Because
Yes.
I feel
Bits
I
and
feel
pieces of it.
okay. I feel like you know more details with me than me about it because I know very few details on it. So if you think you would rather like speak about that, then go ahead.
Um, I really don't. I just kind of heard like what kind of happened. I
Uh huh.
know that they had like a lockdown or something because word got around that some kid had a gun,
Right.
and um, and it was it was high school, right? Was it high school or middle school?
I'm not sure. I know it was like between the ages of like seventh to ninth grade, I believe.
Hmm. Yeah. So apparently he brought a gun to school, and I don't think he ever shot it, but I think maybe he was telling his friends about it, and of course, one of his friends was like, dude, that's not cool. You don't do that. So they ended up telling, and then word got around to the not necessarily wrong person, but the person that was going to say something, which is the right thing to do. And they ended up telling a teacher, and they of course searched, and I'm pretty sure it was just a BB gun. But I mean, still, you don't bring a gun to school.
Right, and you can't tell the difference in the moment either. Like for all they knew, that could have been a real gun.
Mhm.
Well, what I heard about it was I heard that the kid brought a BB gun, and I don't really know why he brought it, or I didn't hear anything like that. I heard like the very basic story where he brought a BB gun, and another kid saw him with the gun or saw that he had it and tackled him to the floor, and that's how they got him.
Okay. Yeah.
Because the kid that tackled him, I saw them. They were like praising him as like a hero and saying like thank
Mm,
God we have like young men like these in the generation.
I
Like
did. I did see that. Yeah.
yeah, I saw where they were praising him and saying like thank you for doing what you did and for being brave and having the courage to stand up to someone in that
Yeah.
situation. Yeah, I did see that. Um, well, that happened, another thing that happened. So, here where I live, there is another mall called Green Hills Mall, and there's also a Cheesecake Factory there. Well, yesterday, my sister comes home from work and is like, "Did you hear what happened at Green Hills today?" And I said, "No, what happened?" And apparently there was another shooting over at the Green Hills Mall, and that's like 30 minutes from my work. And
Mm.
it's crazy that this is happening like so constantly. But the details of this one is basically there's a Louis Vuitton store over there. Some guy was walking, he had just bought some clothes at Louis Vuitton, he was walking out, and these two guys jumped him. The guy that had just finished shopping was carrying, and he pulled out a gun and shot at the guys that jumped him. I think pretty sure he ended up shooting both of them. Um, one of them is currently hospitalized, and I think the other one died. Um, but they ended up before they died, they ended up driving onto I-65, and they caused like a huge wreck. And I think the car wreck is what ended up killing one of them, the one that died, and the other guy um, is in the hospital for the bullet. But it's just crazy that like you're willing to. I think that they also had guns on them as well, but I'm not really sure. But it's just
Mhm.
like it's crazy. Like over some clothes, and I'm not saying anything about the guy. Like that's self defense. Like I totally get it. But like I wasn't there. I don't know if the other guys had guns. I think that they did. I think it's perfectly fine. I think it's perfectly fine if the guy shot in self defense. You know,
Mhm.
but it's crazy that this is just happening all the time and it's becoming so normal.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. Like it's something that you think about every time you go out. Like, oh, like I got to be prepared for this. Um, you never know when it's going to happen. I mean, you can't really prepare for it. Um, so, I mean, it's just one of those things that you can't prepare for, but like, don't not expect it. You know what I mean? So,
Exactly.
just, I guess, best advice I could give, even though I've not ever been in the situation, is look at your surroundings, see where you can hide. Um, don't be stupid.
Oh, of course, always be aware. Um,
Yeah,
this is kind of a. I mean, I'm sure you as a woman, you're always aware of your surroundings because you never know.
yeah,
And I'm the same way. I mean, being gay, there's people out there that just want to kill me just because of who I am, and I'm very weird about. Okay, I don't like PDA. I don't care for it. I think if you want to kiss your husband, wife, partner, whatever, out in public, boyfriend, girlfriend, I think that's totally fine. I personally don't like doing it just because I don't want someone to see me kissing my partner and them like shooting us or coming to beat the shit out of us, or you know what I mean? Like, and there's people that will. There's people that will come and kill me just because they saw me hold a guy's hand or kiss a guy, and it's just like with all of this stuff on top of it, it's like I can't, like I'm not, I don't even want to take that chance. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. It's crazy. But anyway, I think it might be time to do our little segments. We're
Yes, of
gonna start
course.
kind of doing these guys every episode. Um,
Right. So we have a little bit of
kind of have like a
sameness, a little bit of familiarity,
yeah,
something to look
and
forward to.
it'll also be some comedic relief for this episode since it's been kind of like a serious one.
No,
Um,
absolutely.
so
So
our
Maria,
first one.
um,
Hmm.
I'll go ahead and ask you, what did you eat today?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, Kobe. Today was kind of a boring day, I will say. Um, so this morning, of course, I had work today. So I got up. I did have to work later because we actually do taxes. And, it's like tax season right now, so we're having to work late. So I was able to come in late today, so I didn't have overtime because they don't want us to have overtime at my work.
Uh-huh.
Um, so, um, I got up and I was like, oh, I have a little bit of time. Let me go to Hardee's and get a biscuit. So I got me a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit. It was very good. And
Hmm.
Hardee's actually has their biscuit cut into hearts right now. So it was really cute.
Yep, Chick-fil-A does
Um,
too. I got one the other day. It was so good. Anyways,
hmm.
continue.
So, and then for lunch, I had Chick-fil-A chicken tenders and fries
Oh, that sounds so good right now.
with a Pepsi. It was really good.
You had
Um,
Pepsi
mhm.
at Chick-fil-A?
Not Chick-fil-A. Did I say Chick-fil-A?
Yeah,
Oh, I meant KFC.
gotcha. I was
We don't have
confused.
we don't have a Chick-fil-A. No, okay. KFC. My bad, guys. I had chicken tenders and fries from KFC.
Period.
Um, and then for supper tonight, I didn't want to cook since I got home late. So, me and my husband Noel ate leftovers. And I had leftover hibachi. It was chicken and chow mein
Hmm.
with Sprite to drink. And
Great.
I'm probably gonna eat a snack after this.
Right. Of course you are. Wouldn't be
Anyways,
you if you didn't eat your snacks.
oh, for sure. I love my snacks.
For sure.
Um, we have another segment that we want to do. We didn't do this last time, so we're going to make up for it.
Right.
We want to have, like, we want to name the song that we've had on replay for the past week. So I guess let's go ahead with you go ahead with your first song, and I go ahead with my first song from last week. And
Right.
then you can go with your second song for this week, and I can go with the second song for this week.
All right. My first song that's been on repeat, we'll do last week first, is Messy by Lola Young.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Um, yeah, that's my first song that's been on repeat. Do you want to go ahead and do your song from last week first?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
So my song for last week, and I feel like I got this I get a lot of my songs from TikTok.
Yeah, I do too.
Um, because I don't normally, just
I don't
I
seek
don't
out music.
normally listen. Yeah, I normally don't listen to the radio, or I know sometimes if I have a lot of time, like I'm cleaning or I'm doing something around the house, or I don't have time to really, pick like a song like I would be driving, then sometimes I'll go on like Apple Music and go to like the browse section, and it's kind of like a radio, um, based on songs that you've listened to a lot. It'll play songs that you may like. Anyway, getting sidetracked here. but I got this song from TikTok, and the name doesn't sound familiar unless you search it up, but I'm sure you've heard it because it's on a bunch of TikTok videos. It's called Scott Pilgrim versus my G Paw, and it's by Mom Jeans.
Uh-huh.
So
All
I don't
right.
know if you've ever heard of it, but you'll have to listen to it later, Kobe.
Okay. All right. My song for this week, and I posted the song on my story, but this is something you would listen to probably. Um, my song for this week is "Crazy" by Les Seraphim, but specifically the Pink Panthers version. That's been on repeat like every single day. But that's my song for this week.
Okay. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm losing my voice. I can hear it. It's like
Sorry.
it's slowly like gone down throughout the recording, and I can't really do
I was
anything about it.
trying I was trying so hard not to laugh, but I thought, you know what, I'm gonna laugh because it's funny and I'm gonna let people hear the real us.
Yeah, okay. Let me drink a little bit and see if it sounds a little better.
So I feel like you're about to die. I feel like it sounds like you swallowed a cigarette.
Um, no, I just got
Anyway,
a lot of like I don't know. It's like mucus, phlegm, whatever. It's gross. All right, what's your song for this week?
for this week, I actually posted it on my story too. And I don't post songs on my story unless I really like them and I recommend them. So, it's okay. This song remind like it. So where we live, we live in Tennessee, but Tennessee, we're actually having our
Doxing us
fake
again.
spring. Yeah, we're having our fake spring right now. So, it's like it's been really, really freaking cold for the past couple months, and it was randomly 70 degrees. So it made me in the mood for like summer, like getting excited for the beach and stuff. Um, so when I heard this song on TikTok, I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to download that. And when I listened to it, it's just one of those songs that makes you picture summer. It's not, you know, you have different songs that make you picture fall time or picture winter or whatever. This song screams summer, and it's called Little Lies by Walter the Producer. It's
Gotcha.
such a
I've never
cute
heard of that.
song. You'll have to listen to it. It's such a cute, like, vibey song. Like, it just makes you want to just smile and smell the flowers, and I don't know. I love it.
All right.
But anyway, so there's our segments, guys.
Uh,
Um, Also, we haven't had anybody give us any feedback, y'all. I mean, it may be because our episode was so long last time. Um, and I know probably not, of course, we haven't gotten our name out there much because we just started and everything, but y'all let us know what y'all would like to hear about and, what we need to improve on because you're not going to hurt our feelings. We want it to be entertaining for you guys.
yeah, absolutely. Let us know. Tell me to take some fucking cold medicine before I get on here and sound like what I sound like right now. But anyways, that should be everything for this week. Of all jokes aside, um, tune in on Fridays. We'll have another one up next Friday for you guys. Um, check out our Instagram. We're also on YouTube and Spotify if you're listening on one or the other. Working on getting on Apple Podcasts, but as of right now, they're being a bitch to set up.
Love that for us.
Right.
But yeah, Kobe, go get you a cough drop and some
Oh, I
water.
will. I'm gonna go take me some NyQuil and get in the bed.
Alright, guys, and also I'm going to start updating Instagram more, I promise. I've been really bad about it, but we're going to get everything figured out. We're still trying to figure things out. Um, and I will say, too, I'm hoping my mic sounds better this episode because I had it turned up a lot last episode and we didn't realize in the test. So,
Yeah, we are
just bear
aware of
with
the
us.
microphone issues. We are working on getting them fixed. So just be
Yeah,
patient with us. I hope they don't sound too
just
bad.
just bear with us. I didn't talk a lot in this episode, so maybe it was more enjoyable if mine is still messed up in this episode. So,
Yeah, we like
but
the
yeah,
episodes where Maria doesn't talk.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I've tried to talk quieter, and I have my mic farther away, and I have it turned down. So surely
Perfect.
that will help.
Alrighty. Well, thank you guys for joining us today on another episode of All Jokes Aside. We will catch you next week.
Thanks
Bye
for listening,
bye.
guys. Bye.